It's a redundant, ridiculous statement that you guys keep making to defend from the fact that you don't know any of the evidence. That's it. It's a ridiculous statement. It's a ridiculous statement. Hello?
What's going on? I made a comment earlier and somebody said don't be scared to go live, so I figured I'd jump in here. My comment was just charges are not convictions. I don't know. I wasn't there, so I can't say he's innocent. But until he's convicted, the process of law is a thing. So
when he is convicted,
They're going to vote for him, right?
So my side of it is that both of these fuckers are idiots. We've seen both of them on how many videos over the past 4 years, over the past 8 years. Politics for how long for Biden? He's been there for 20 something, maybe more than that. I don't know all the facts, but we've all seen the videos of both of them talking nonsense. Both of them not making fucking sense, right? Neither one of them's a good candidate. The people that support Trump, for the reason they supported Trump, is he ran the country like a business, which is what he just
got a $460 million suit against him for persistent business fraud. I don't think that
I'm not saying
you think
right. Dude filed bankruptcy twice and managed to still have a multi-million.
He's the first president in a decade to leave office with higher unemployment than when he entered.
I'm not saying that we're a business, so I'm seeing all these comments going on. I'm trying to respond to some of them at the same time. My entire point was when this person told me not to be afraid to join, I'm assuming it was one of your editors because they tagged me as soon as I said it. But it's just charges aren't convictions. And there's millions of examples just in the United States, let alone other countries, where people have been falsely accused of stuff. And that is a charge, not a conviction. A conviction is proof of guilt. And whether it's by a jury or admission,
it's his admission. So that's the funny part.
But
it's at his own admission.
But you have it listed there. Trump has 91 charges. Convince me he's innocent. I can't convince you he's innocent because I wasn't fucking there. But at the same time, there's no proof of guilt until that's gone through court and it's been determined guilty.
So we can look at the evidence. We can look at the evidence, man. Like this is a ridiculous argument that people are like, well, he has to go through court. We can look at the evidence, right? We didn't need to wait for Timothy McVeigh to go through court to know that he did it. You know,
what I'm saying is I don't know all the facts. Like I said, as soon as I said, I don't know all the facts. I was simply talking about exactly what your headline is. That's it. Charges aren't convictions. That's exactly what I was saying, because people are still getting let out on false charges, stuff that they beat years down the line, but they were never convicted of because they were found innocent of the charge.
He's not admitting he didn't. Here's a problem. He's not admitting he didn't do it. He has not once in any of these cases claimed that he did not do what they're accusing him of doing.
And I'm not saying he did. Like I said from the beginning, like I'm not arguing his innocence. I'm just, whenever I made my comment way the fuck back when, whenever that person said, don't be scared to join, and I requested to join, it was like 15, 20 minutes ago, something like that. I've been waiting a while. But my simple comment was charges are not convictions. I don't know. I wasn't there. That's all. So, I mean, charges are what they are. Somebody could come here right now, call the police on my doorstep after arguing with me and have me brought up on charges for anything they want. Or I could vice versa, do the same with them. Until you're proven guilty in the court of law.
Okay, but he's not admitting, he's not saying he didn't do it. I don't know what you're not getting about this. He's never said he didn't do it.
But you don't have to. It's a burden of proof is on the accused.
Okay, but he is never, right. So I don't need to use the government standard, dude. I'm not the government. I hate this argument. I'm not the government. We don't assess guilt based off, well, was he convicted? No, oftentimes we're like, yeah, they did it. Casey Anthony, yeah, did it.
Right, and yeah, obviously charges aren't convictions, but we have to acknowledge admission is culpability. Donald Trump's argument isn't that he didn't do it. He's openly and repeatedly admitting that he had the right to do the things that he did. That's his defense. I think that establishes some level of culpability on his part.
So if it was this simple, if like I said, I'm not saying that he's entirely innocent, but we're talking about something presidentially speaking, the rights that they have, the security clearance they have exist past whenever they leave office. So a president in office,
no, it doesn't. It's revoked immediately.
Not everything. It's just like when you leave the military.
It's revoked. You can have access to specific documents in a SCIF that are pertaining to information that you are currently working on in security, right? If you're in the security meetings, or you're trying to catch up new presidents or trying to inform new presidents on things that happened in previous, then yeah, that stuff all has to remain in a SCIF and it has to be brought to you. You can't just take it to Mar-a-Lago because you feel like it.
Okay. And like I said, I wasn't saying that he was innocent. I was not saying this is an entirely singular line of thought there. Yeah. What I'm saying is that even like me, when I was in the military, my security clearance was a certain point. So 10 years after I leave the military, which ends in 3 years, I'm still essentially on call for the military. So at any point within 10 years after you leave the military, they can stop loss you essentially and bring you back. If you come back in that time period, anything that you were cleared for in that period of time, you'll get those clearances back. Anything.
You don't automatically retain those clearances when you're not in that position, as you've just acknowledged.
And I understand that. And I'm not saying that he had those. I'm not saying that at the same time, whenever he was
What you just
out
said.
of office, that he had that same clearance. But
You just said he did post-presidency.
so a president who leaves office is still a president. They still maintain a security clearance. Not the same security clearance that they had. However, they still have a security clearance that continues on. I don't know the specifics of what it is when in office and when out of office, but yes, they do. That's why they're still considered presidents, even past presidents.
They're not. No, they're not. They have no functioning role as a former president, thus having no ability to retain or view those documents, especially those that the government's seeking.
His clearance wasn't revoked. It's revoked if you're impeached.
No, it's revoked. You're not president.
It's revoked. The only thing that you have access to is what's shown to you because, yeah, you're only granted it because you've been elected. You don't hold any special security clearance for the rest of your life. Like, if you're in the security meetings, you'll have access to those documents, but you don't have access to the documents endlessly. If you have put stuff or there's a conflict about like personal stuff versus private stuff, you can go to the national records to view things for recollection's sake, but you can't keep them on you like that.
And I never.
You can't get access to new documents.
What I'm saying is,
okay.
What I'm saying is there are certain things that are still within a clearance, and when you are a president, when you're elected to presidency, there are things that you have to sign off on.
Documents are not one of those things, and he has no ability to sign off or declassify or do any of that when he's no longer president.
Hey guys, if you are enjoying the show, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And if you want to support the channel, you guys can become a YouTube member on this channel, or preferably join the Patreon in the link tree in the bio. Also in the link tree is my TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, and the OK Hi YouTube, which I post news to on a regular basis. Enjoy the rest of the show.
As I said earlier, admission is culpability. Per his own words. As president, I could have declassified. Of course, now I can't. It's a secret. In what way does that establish that he still retained that classification level, that clearance? For the scope of your job, that is your constitutional authority to have that capability. When you no longer have that authority, that's not within your jurisdiction. In the same way that obviously you can't retain military documents when you're no longer in the military.
Now, here's the rub on that. Because they have been privy to that information, they have to retain a level of security clearance and a level of, so like even after they leave presidency, they still have a level of security clearance that's higher than 90% of people that you're going to run into, because they still have that knowledge, they still have all that information. And if they're not
granted to it, by that determining source,
so
determines the classification.
So
if that automatic,
if all their classifications and all those restrictions of those classifications that keep them from spreading those secrets are gone as soon as they leave office, they can essentially say whatever the fuck they want secret wise, and it's not an issue. They still retain those clearances, and they still retain, and not all of them. I'm not saying they retain the same level.
No, that's
they have a reduced level of security clearance because they have to, because those same
they still have to abide by their agreements.
Those same clearances cover the knowledge that they know and the things that they are allowed to share. It's the same thing for like a general in the military who's been privy to information. When they leave, they have those non-disclosure agreements.
When they leave and they leak that information, that's still, it's not, they're not the same. But when they leave, and if they were to leak that or sell that or share it openly, that's still illegal. because that's classified information.
So
Why didn't you acknowledge that Trump admitted that it wasn't declassified?
because I said from the beginning that I don't know all the facts on it. My core statement was just.
I know, man. It's a dumb statement. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's a redundant.
Convictions,
Yeah.
which is your headline.
It's a redundant,
someone told
ridiculous
me-
statement. It's a redundant,
Someone told
ridiculous
me-
statement that you guys keep making to defend from the fact that you don't know any of the evidence. That's it. It's like, it's a
Yeah.
ridiculous statement. It's a ridiculous statement. If we were having the conversation when Casey Anthony was under trial, if we were having the conversation about, if we were having the conversation about, did she do it? Right? We wouldn't be like, well, she hasn't been convicted. That would be stupid. And this is the only instance in which anybody would ever use that argument, right? Could you imagine if like you're watching somebody break into a store and steal shit, and then you're like, they haven't been convicted. No, that's not how that works. You don't assess that. There's people that have stolen stuff from you in your life, right? You don't like, they weren't convicted, so they didn't steal it from me. No, we don't assess things like that. That's the government's burden. That's not mine. And the only time that this has ever been used ever is for this case. Nobody has ever made this argument before, ever.
Dude, I make this argument.
No, you
every
don't.
single time I
No,
see
you
this
don't.
shit. I can go on Facebook right now
No,
and
you
invest these
don't.
fucking arguments on people with pulling people over on the side of the road and saying that motherfucker was speeding because I think he was speeding. I can literally go get that comment from Facebook.
Have you ever
screenshot
seen
it
it?
right
Have
now.
you ever watched some
Bring
video
this
of someone?
back
Hold on a
in.
second. We're not talking about
He's
whether or
accused
not.
of
No,
Facebook
no.
comment section.
We're not. Yeah, I know. We're not talking about.
Source.
We're not talking about whether or not there's a discrepancy about this person breaking the law by speeding. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is watching a video of someone clearly break into a fucking vape shop or something and steal all the fucking vapes, and they go like, they haven't been convicted. Nobody would ever make that argument. And the only time that you would make that argument is if someone told you, well, they robbed a vape store. Not if you actually heard the evidence or saw the tape. Address the evidence. I hate this argument so bad. You guys refuse to address the evidence, and in large part because you don't know what the evidence is.
And yeah, Facebook comment section as a source is wild. Whoever the hell just said that, Cass. What they were saying is that he literally said that I've never said that about anything else. And I said, yes, I have. I can go take that from a fucking Facebook comment section and screenshot where I said the same fucking thing. The only reason why I even joined the live is because I made the comment that charges aren't convictions, and I don't know, I wasn't there. Like, literally said, I don't know the fucking facts of this, so I can't say that he's innocent, and I'm not saying he's innocent. Just charges aren't convictions. That's all I said.
Look at the evidence.
And then your mod said, don't be scared, join. So I joined, and I told you that right off the bat.
Right.
So I
at the
told you right off
evidence.
the bat.
Look at the
I
evidence.
told you right off the bat that I don't know all the facts on this.
Okay,
my
read the
comment was
indictment.
based
Gather
on.
that.
Facts. Look at the
So-
facts to read the indictment. I don't know why this argument keeps coming up. This is a dumb argument that nobody would use if they caught some guy red-handed. They're like, oh, well, he hasn't been convicted. Sure, they have him on camera, like without a mask, and he showed his ID when he robbed that place, but he didn't do it because he hasn't been convicted.
But what up? So you're missing my point. Your
No, I'm
mod
not.
told me not to be scared and join it.
We don't
Because I
care.
made
We
this
don't
comment.
care. We don't care.
Has anybody ever stolen anything from you?
Yeah.
Were they convicted?
No, because I don't call them.
Then they didn't steal from you.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
they didn't.
weren't convicted. Theft is a criminal crime. They weren't convicted. You don't get to make that assessment.
You know, theft is an action. Larceny is a crime.
Criminal action.
No,
Criminal action.
larceny is the crime.
No, larceny is
Find anybody who's larceny on a court
Theft.
docket sheet is
No.
what they call theft.
No, it's not. It's
It
called
is.
theft.
There's petty theft and larceny.
Oh, it's
You'll
called
never
theft.
see theft on a docket sheet. Trust me.
I'm sure.
I have those papers here.
Sure. So I'll just go ahead and pull it up right here. RCW chapter 9A 56 RCW theft and robbery. What state are you in?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
A person who is guilty of theft in the felony in the second degree. Theft constitutes, it's literally right here, man. Theft by deception.
Description is theft. The charge is larceny. This is what I'm saying on that end. The charge on the docket sheet will say larceny. The description
Larceny-
of that larceny will describe the theft.
So grand,
As it
grand larceny is a crime defined as larceny of property worth more than a given state's statutory requirements. The
That's
minimum
grand
property value.
There's petite larceny, larceny.
Oh my
and grand
fucking
larceny.
God, I just read you the fucking statute. I'm so close to breaking this motherfucking keyboard. I just read you the fucking statute that said theft. Did you go to did you go to school for criminal justice or no?
Have you ever had a docket sheet?
Did you go to school for criminal
justice?
justice or no?
Because when
You were
you're
accused of
accused of theft, when you're accused of theft on your docket sheet, it will say larceny. because larceny is the charge they use to describe theft. Go the fuck away.
Title 18, Theft by Unlawful Taking, Pennsylvania General Assembly. That was annoying. I hate that argument so much. I hate it. I can't stand the argument. I cannot stand that argument. It's such a I don't know anything, but he hasn't been convicted yet. And then when he is, this is what's going to happen. It was a kangaroo court, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was saying he was going to owe $550 million or $500 million approximately right before it actually happened, and people were telling me on live, no, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. Now that he is, kangaroo court.